Joe made a comment last night about my shorts being too short, so I made sure to wear my longer shorts.
Damn. Didn't somebody at our old job get fired for making that comment?
No. They got fired for being an idiot, but...
I was thinking the other day about some of the things that I believed as a kid. I wanted to do a quick 2 truths and a lie to see if you could figure it out.
So 2 truths being what you believed?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, or I guess just things that were in my head as a kid. I guess it's not necessarily beliefs.
Okay.
But, so, first one, I thought getting struck by lightning would give me superpowers.
Okay.
Second one, I had an imaginary friend that was George W. Bush. Third one, I thought if you flushed a toilet with pee in it, the pee would come out of the shower head.
Okay. So first and foremost, I know that last one's true because you told that to me last night.
Okay.
Okay. So no, that's off the bat. Now, here's the thing. The lightning thing, that could be me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with my shocking myself.
Give you math powers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm inclined to believe the George W. Bush thing is Josh.
Is Josh?
Yeah.
So which one are you picking as the lie?
The George W. Bush one.
That's not true. It was the lightning.
Why was your imaginary friend George W. Bush?
I had this like little figure of George W. Bush when I was a kid. I don't know where I got it from, but it was like one of my favorite toys. He was like articulate. You could like dress him up and shit, put different like suits on him. He had a little button on his chest that you could press and he would say George Bush quotes.
Was it like hit the second tower?
No, it was like it was like some shit from his speeches he made after 9/11 where he's
We'll
like,
catch
we need
those
to stand
terrorists
together and shit like that.
We'll catch those terrorists. Now watch this drive.
Oh my god, if he said now watch this drive, I would have loved that.
Low key, we do need a George. Does anyone have a George Bush action figure? Ship it to us.
Yeah.
I'll give you my full address.
It'll be on permanent display here.
Yeah.
If anyone knows what I'm talking about, it was like I remember the box it came in. You like opened up the front flap on it and there was a clear window where you could see George Bush.
I'm going to the cave later today.
He was also wearing cowboy boots instead of like normal shoes, and the boots on the side of them had the presidential seal.
The fuck? Not the presidential. I don't know. What are cowboy boot models? Leather toe, square toe ones. I'm going to the cave later today to go thrifting, and I feel like the cave is a perfect place for them to have a George Bush action figure.
I think I have seen some of like the exact same thing on display, like on one of those upper shelves where they just have like the random shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either that or like a chain restaurant. Like, I don't know, TGI Fridays, you know, where they have like all like the random just knickknacks all around for no good reason.
Yeah, I could see it being in a Texas Roadhouse somewhere.
Yeah, he is from Texas.
Yeah, it would be fitting.
So Thanksgiving was this week, and on Thanksgiving I kind of realized that like the food is just not good.
Yeah, no, we kind of did our own. I mean, I guess we had Thanksgiving food in the terms that Haley made mac and cheese, and then she also made like some roasted potatoes, and then I made stuffing, and
notably absent a bird.
Yeah, no, we did not have any bird meat. Actually made filet mignon.
Amazing.
It was really fucking good.
Well, I was just like thinking about it because like, so we went to Sean's parents' house and I only stayed for soup and salad.
Mm-hmm. Olive Garden.
Yeah. And his mom does make a mean salad, but his mom did not make the salad this time. And then his mom made a butternut squash soup, which is good. Like, it's a really good soup. But it's like, that's not a Thanksgiving dish. That's just a dish. I don't think butternut squash was like at the first Thanksgiving, you know?
Yeah.
The dishes that are at a Thanksgiving traditionally are turkey, mashed or roasted potatoes, but I feel like mashed is more
it's more common.
traditional. Sweet potatoes, green bean casserole, which is just fucking vile.
Yeah.
Just fucking vile. The 3 ingredients separately, good. Three ingredients together, bad.
So in a green bean casserole, you got the green beans, you got like the dried onions,
and then it's
what's the third ingredient?
Usually cream of mushroom soup.
Oh, gotcha.
So it's like separately, great, right? Yeah. And then you got mac and cheese that no one can ever make fucking correctly. And then like,
I don't know, the mac and cheese we had last night was pretty good.
It's good, but you look at it and you're like, a white person made this.
What the fuck?
Like French's fried onions on a mac and cheese. I actually made the mac and cheese for my parents Thanksgiving, and it was not. First off, I didn't even have macaroni. Okay. The store was out, so I had to get penne, which is fine. Most macaroni can be just a small noodle. But I also fucking hate cheese that is colored. Like the milk is white, the cheese should also be white.
Okay.
So like, I'm fine eating like a grilled cheese with a Kraft single on it. Don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. But like, if I'm making something with cheese that I have to melt, I would prefer to use like all that. I'm going a little RFK. I don't like the dyes.
So you don't like the coloreds?
Yes.
What you're saying?
Yeah, white only.
Okay.
In the fridge.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I ended up using 6 pounds of cheese for my mac and cheese.
God damn.
But it did make two big trays. So it was like a double thing. But you got macaroni and you got bread that everyone has just resulted to Hawaiian rolls now. And it's like,
because they're so fucking good.
They are good. Bake your own bread.
No, fuck that. Hawaiian rolls.
Corn, which is just like,
oh, I love corn.
Okay, this is the whole thing. I like corn too, but my mom just like gets frozen corn and just throws it in a pot. And it's like, okay, that's fine. But like, if you get corn on the cob, doing the dishes would be so much easier. And that's what I told my dad, is I was like, next year we got a barbecue for Thanksgiving.
I've never had, sorry, that's not true. I've had frozen corn. I don't like it as much as I do like corn you get out of a can.
Ooh. Well, no, because I do make, okay, so Sean's parents make, I've never, this has to be an Iowa thing, because his mom's from Iowa. Mm-hmm. Corn pudding.
Dude, the farther you go east, the weirder the dishes get.
But here's the thing. What do you think corn pudding is?
Probably like, I don't know, you grind up the individual corn kernels and kind of like cook it until it gelatinizes.
It's not. It's literally just like a slightly more moist cornbread.
Why is it called pudding?
That's the whole thing. Is the first Thanksgiving that I had with Sean, he was like, I'm so excited because my mom makes corn pudding and she only makes it for Thanksgiving. And I was like, well, if you get the recipe, I can make it for you whenever you want if you like it that much, but whatever. So we go there and I'm like, okay, this corn pudding has been played up, but corn pudding does not sound entirely too appetizing to me. Mm-hmm. Because corn and pudding just don't sound good together. Rice pudding, sure. Corn pudding, no. And so...
Is it just like a linguistics thing where that's just what they call cornbread?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's not cornbread. It's not, because traditional cornbread has like cornmeal in it, and it's pretty much just cornmeal mixed with flour. So it's just like diluted flour, and then you're just making like essentially like a pancake in a pan. And you cook cornbread traditionally. This is where everyone fucks it up. Actual cornbread you cook in cast iron, and you take a stick of lard, whatever you like, and you melt it in the cast iron in the oven, and you wait until it's like fucking bubbling, and then you pour the batter into that, and it starts cooking in the pan as you pour it in, and then you put that back in the oven.
But you said you just like, it's the shape of a pancake?
No, it's like essentially the same ingredients for a pancake plus cornmeal.
Oh.
Because pancakes are just eggs, milk, flour, baking soda, baking powder, usually some type of sugar. And that's literally what cornbread is.
I just like the cornbread where you just fucking put it in a rectangular like tin and
you can. It's still cornbread, but traditional cornbread is in the cast iron. Either way, corn pudding, I get there, and it literally is just moist cornbread. Like tres leches cornbread, essentially.
Yeah,
still warm.
Fine.
It tastes fine. It's literally like basically cornbread batter with cream of corn and sour cream in it. and that just like makes it moist. And so it's good. And there's also whole kernels of corn in there too. But it's like, she makes corn pudding. I don't think that's traditional. Cranberry sauce, which my parents always get the fucking canned one.
Oh yeah, and they take it out the can and it's got the little lines on it.
Yeah.
Still,
I
love
like it.
looking at that.
I like
never
it.
eat it.
Oh, it's good. I like cranberry sauce, but I think cranberry sauce that's actually made fresh is good. But it's just like, I was just like sitting there at Thanksgiving this year and I was just like, this is all gross food. Like no one eats this stuff outside of Thanksgiving.
See, this is why
Mashed potatoes, sure. That's really about it.
People eat turkey all the time. Are you kidding me?
But
Turkey
they eat
sandwiches?
yeah, that's deli meat. That's turkey that has been like roasted and compacted and filled with sodium nitrate.
People definitely eat cornbread outside of Thanksgiving too.
But cornbread, I don't think cornbread's a traditional Thanksgiving thing.
I mean, I don't care if anything's traditional or not. I'm just gonna eat the shit that I find
That's okay,
enjoyable.
and that's what. Okay, so my grandpa, when he was alive, we suggested having a ham one year for Thanksgiving, and he went ballistic. And I was like, oh my god, okay, so he's like a Thanksgiving purist. I had been trying to convince my mom to do a Chinese Thanksgiving.
What, you get duck?
No, you just get a bunch of Chinese food.
Oh.
Like, okay, instead of having fucking like whatever soup people have on Thanksgiving, because a lot of people have soup.
I hate soup.
Egg drop soup. Instead of having fucking bread rolls, spring rolls. Or
no,
like,
I would be pissed if there were no Hawaiian rolls. Like, Chinese food is fine. Give me some chow mein and sweet and sour pork.
Instead of having macaroni, have chow mein.
Give me Hawaiian rolls on top of that.
Sure.
I'll make little Chinese food sandwiches.
But it's just like, I've been trying to convince her to do a Chinese Thanksgiving, a Mexican Thanksgiving, because it's like, that's food I like.
Yeah.
Like, imagine you do an Italian Thanksgiving. Everyone brings chicken parm.
Dude, I might pull up to Joe's next year for Thanksgiving.
They did brisket this year, right?
No, he did a turkey, but he did it in his Traeger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was telling my dad too, is like, because I got stuck washing all the dishes and I was like, holy hell, you guys used every dish in this kitchen to prepare this meal. And I used a total of 3 dishes to make my macaroni, like a pot, another pot, and a spatula. Like, so where is the disconnect here? And so I was like, okay, look, you guys bought frozen corn, so you had to break a pot out for that. You could put that on the grill if it was corn on the cob. You can grill a turkey. You can spatchcock a turkey and grill it.
I really want to deep fry a turkey too.
My uncle did that one year.
I've heard it's either really fucking good or it's really bad.
It's really bad, in my opinion. Maybe he overcooked it. I don't know. To me, it tasted drier than normal turkey.
Because that's why I like.
Are you a breast or leg person for turkey?
Whatever the white one is.
Breast.
Yeah. Because I like fried chicken more than like grilled chicken, because every time I have grilled chicken, it's just like hella dry.
There was one year that we did Cornish game hens for Thanksgiving. That was a game changer.
Like, everyone just got their own little hen.
Yeah. Well, I think so, but he ended up buying a little bit less because some people were like, I'm not gonna eat a whole one, so they were like, oh, I'll split it with whoever. But yeah, pretty much everyone like got their own game hen, and he like roasted them, and like, yeah. But I've just never had good turkey, and my mom like puts the butter and herbs under the skin and like she cooks it in a good way. Like her turkey's not gross. It's just like,
yeah. All the turkeys I've had, is like they do it the same way. They shove the stick of butter up the ass. They like baste it so often, and it always comes out like so dry.
Are you a stuffing in the butthole or out of the butthole guy?
I don't know. I just eat the Stouffer's.
Okay, so traditionally, when you bake a turkey, because it's hollowed out, there's no organs, you shove it's called stuffing for a reason.
Yeah. I know it's supposed to go in the turkey.
Yeah, and you put it right in its butthole, and you bake it, and then you eat it out of there.
I don't know if it still tastes the same. I'll eat it.
That's another thing, is my parents had 3 different types of stuffing this year, and I was like, what are we doing?
Dude, they had a new flavor at Safeway, and I was going to try it, but
is stuffing not just bread?
Yeah, it pretty much is. It's like bread and like some herbs and like some other
celery
things in there.
Usually. My favorite thing, the hors d'oeuvres.
Yeah.
My mom makes deviled eggs. I throw those back.
Yeah, I fuck with deviled eggs.
I probably ate like 20 deviled eggs on Thursday at Sean's parents and my parents.
Dude, I ate like an entire tray of those pigs in a pig last night. Those are so fucking good.
Honestly,
we went to a Friendsgiving last night. People brought their own dishes and shit. and there were these little appetizers there. They were like the meanie weenies, and they were wrapped in bacon and then like grilled with brown sugar on them. They were so fucking good.
This is the thing. I don't eat meat, but like every time I'm like, oh yeah, I'd eat meat for this, it's always some like disgusting slop meal. Like if you're like
when
someone,
Josh is in town, we need to get fucked up and then do the bacon wrapped honey buns.
I'm not eating bacon. I don't like honey buns.
It doesn't matter. They're so good.
So here's the thing. So it's like, imagine you're in prison, right? You're eating prison slot food for 25 years, and they're like, all right, last meal, what do you want? Everyone's always like a filet mignon, right? I want the nicest cut. I want a brisket. I want a fucking, what is the prime rib, right? Me, hot dog.
Yeah, if
I'd fold for a hot dog.
If I'm in prison for 25 years, last meal type shit, I'm ordering Taco Bell. I'm not getting a fucking filet mignon.
Yeah, no, it's like you can. Well, they also give you a budget of like $20, so it's like you could really pick out.
Yeah,
unless you order a quesadilla, because now they're like $7.
Well, honestly, my grilled cheese burritos are like
you're like
$6.
I'll take 4 build your own Lux boxes.
Give me a taco 12 pack.
Yeah, no, like Dodger dogs. Probably would eat that. Bacon. Probably would eat some bacon.
If you want to have some good bacon right now at Kura, they got like Sakura bacon, spicy and normal. The spicy one I would recommend. It's not spicy. It's got the same shit on it they put on the popcorn shrimp, that like orange sauce, whatever it is. It's so fucking good.
Do you guys ever go to Winco?
I used to when I was a kid, but
okay.
I don't know where one is around here.
There's one in Roseville, like on that, you know where Top Golf is. It's like in that stretch of the freeway. There's one that's the closest one I know. I think there's also one in Folsom and one in South Sac, maybe, or like Elk Grove.
Yeah, I'm not driving all the way to South Sac for groceries.
But I'll tell you this: when Josh and I lived together, we would go to Winco. You go to the meat section, like the refrigerated meat section where all like ground beef and stuff is. At the very end, they put out bacon that is about to go bad, like by food safety standards. They put it out, and usually you can get like 5 pounds for like $1 a pound. And it is thick cut bacon, like that thick.
God damn.
And it's peppered. And so we would go and buy it, and what we would do is we would go and we would take it and we'd put it on our sheet trays and put it in the freezer and freeze it into individual strips. We would roll them up into individual like balls and like freeze them, because then they don't go bad. And then we would just like have 5 pounds of bacon.
Just have little bacon balls every now and then?
No, not even bacon balls. We just take them out like the night before. Like if we're like, oh, we're baking tomorrow for breakfast, just take them out, leave them out overnight, thinking they'll defrost. And then next morning you just have thick cut bacon. That's what I use. That's like the only meat that I used to eat in Reno was bacon and like chicken.
No wonder red meat makes you sick now.
Yeah, I don't eat steak. I didn't, even when I ate meat, I didn't like steak. I didn't like you see a pork chop coming, I used to throw up.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of pork chops. I had pork chops a few times. I'm just like,
but again, I really only like the garbage meat. Like, give me a burger, give me some bacon, give me some guanciale, which is just pork jowls.
I think I've had pork jowls before too, and it's like, okay.
Have I made you carbonara before?
I don't think so.
Okay, if I've made you carbonara before, you've absolutely had it, because that's what you put in carbonara. A lot of people think it's just bacon.
I think I've had it at like Korean barbecue places, because I think that's something you can order there.
Interesting. They're like, we're a little bit Italian. Interesting. Yeah. Thanksgiving food's fucking disgusting. I hate it.
Or it's great if you just make what you want.
If you have whimsy.
Yeah.
That's Taco Bell for Thanksgiving.
Oh.
Imagine everyone goes.
I don't think Taco Bell's open on Thanksgiving.
Really?
Yeah. Like a lot of fast food places closed because everyone's eating at home.
That's crazy. Did you see Popeyes did a whole turkey this year?
Mm-mm.
They did
I feel like I've heard them doing that before.
Cajun rubbed deep fried turkey.
Pre-cooked?
Pre-cooked.
Damn.
So it's like
if I had known about that, I would have done that. I would have been like, let's get the fucking Cajun turkey, babe.
Yeah, it's like $40 and you get it, and I think it probably comes in like one of those like Costco bags, you know, that they put the rotisserie chickens in. So it's not crispy when you get it, but it's, you know, still deep fried.
Yeah.
Still saturated in oil.
Yeah.
No, sandwiches. A good hoagie for Thanksgiving.
I'd fuck up.
Have you ever had a Thanksgiving leftover sandwich?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I fuck with. That and potato pancakes.
The only potato pancakes I know are the ones that you can get in Amsterdam.
Latkes, probably. The Jewish ones.
I mean, they call them space cakes because they're like loaded with hallucinogens.
Oh no, this is, you just take cold mashed potatoes, crack an egg into it, and like literally like mix it together, roll it into a ball, put it into a pan, smash it down like a hamburger patty, fry it, crack another egg on top of it.
Where the potatoes come in?
It's mashed potatoes.
Oh,
it's mashed potatoes mixed with an egg to like bind it. Smashed into a pan, fried with like a sunny side up egg on it.
Interesting.
It's so fucking good. But I also have this thing where I can't eat anyone's mashed potatoes but my mom's.
Mashed potatoes are not that different from person to person.
No, they are.
It's just potatoes.
They are. Some are super dry, and some people leave the peels on. Not Brent and Grace, but some people leave the peels on, and it's just like, why is there peels in my mashed potatoes?
Oh, I love it when there's little peels on the mashed potatoes.
I'll eat the peel on a baked potato.
Yeah, I'll do that too. Like baked potato comes around, I'll unwrap it from the foil. I'll eat it like a Taco Bell burrito. I'll just take a bite off the top. I'll like sprinkle my little sour cream or whatever the fuck I want onto the next part, and I'll just I'll just keep eating it.
A little
like
greedy,
that.
but okay. I cut it in half and I just smash it up and mix
I just
everything.
don't like the process. Like it's too much work.
Wow. You know what's not too much work?
Listening to the Learning Curve podcast.
Episode 45. I got the episode right this time.
Good job.
I'm Brent. That's Joe.
Yep. Welcome back. Been a little bit. I have been staying up until 3 a.m. and then waking up at 8 the past like 4 days.
I stayed up till 2:47 was the last time I saw on the clock last night. Woke up at 6:30 this morning.
When we left the Friendsgiving last night, we went home and I was looking forward to
doing shots.
A little bit tipsy. Yeah, I was looking forward to playing League of Legends, right? Because normally when we're out with Joe, he comes back and he's like, all right, well, I'm just going to leave. And then we're like, all right, bye. But this time he decided to hang out for a little bit. So we watched half of the first season of Jujutsu Kaisen. And then it was like 3 a.m.
You didn't watch Heated Rivalry?
No, we didn't.
Damn.
Oh, I forgot about that show, honestly. I have it in a note in my phone.
I really want to get your reaction to it.
Well, we'll have to do like a behind the paywall reacting to Heated Rivalry live or something.
I will give anyone $20 to watch it with their parents.
Well, I can't take that bet, so anyone else feel free.
So you watched Jujutsu Kaisen?
Yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen. We watched like half of season 1.
And then
Joe was getting into it. He was asking me questions and shit, and I was like,
is he like a parent when you watch a movie? Like, you know, when you watch a movie with like an adult and they're like, who is that? What's happening? And you're like, I'm watching this for the first time too.
Yeah, a couple times. Haley's the same way too. But I have read like all the way through the end of Jujutsu Kaisen, so I know all of the answers to the things he's asking. But I'm just like, just keep watching. Like they'll explain it. It's super convoluted.
Generally, that's how things go.
The show likes to just introduce you to things and then explain it at a later time.
I recently found out. So, like I said, they adapted Heated Rivalry from a book, and the season 1 starts at the beginning of the second book. Apparently,
there's some hockey smut book that was popular.
Is it called Him?
A while back. Huh?
Is it Him?
No.
Oh.
It was like, I forgot what it was. It was a straight one. It wasn't a gay one.
Oh, there's a lot of those. They have a whole we went to Barnes & Noble in Huntington Beach last week, and they had a whole table of those. And I was really pissed because I was looking for Heated Rivalry, and I was like, man and man, or man and woman, woman and woman, them and they, No fucking gay stuff, just straight stuff.
There's this like little arts and crafts store that Haley wanted to go to, and we went to it, and they had like this section in there where they had a bunch of books, and they were like wrapped in brown paper so you couldn't see it, but it gave you like the genre and then like a brief description of what it was.
Yeah.
And she was like looking through the books, and she came across one that was talking about like that book, like the straight hockey one, and I was like, oh, I know what that book is. And then she was like, really? And I was like, yeah. And I had to explain to her what the book was and then how I knew about it.
You can tell because they all have the same style of cover art.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a cartoony thing.
Yeah.
Like you can tell a book is like just straight up smut. And this is the whole thing. So I read a book one time. It's actually up there. It's called In the Absence of Men, and it's like a World War I book, and it's very serious, and it's about these two gay guys. And like there's a scene in it.
Sounds like a lot of men.
Yeah. And there's a scene in it where they have sex, and it's like so graphic, but so like it's written by a French guy.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like written by
they're like smoking cigarettes as they're fucking.
Yes, absolutely. But it's written so like elegantly, like you're reading it and you're like, this is beautiful. They're making love. And then you read like the hockey smut books, and it's just like, oh my God. And it's always written by a woman. They're just fujoshing out.
Oh my God, dude. At fucking work, they are like obsessed with this book series.
Court of Thorn and Roses, I bet.
It's not that one.
No, it's not.
But there's one. They've been like talking about, I think, 2 different book series. The one that I've heard them say the most insane things about is called Kiss of the Basilisk. Have you heard of that one?
Yes.
Yeah,
I don't know what it's about, but I've heard of it.
It's like these people that can transform into snakes, like big ass snakes, like the one in Harry Potter. Have you seen those?
And I have not, but I know what you're talking about because I remember the trailers.
Yeah, they transform into like big ass snakes, and then like this girl comes along and she wants to be like fucking indoctrinated into the snake cult. And so she gets fucking passed around between like father and son and grandfather, and they all turn into snakes and like fuck her. And they're just talking about this like it's the best thing ever. And I'm like, if I was just sitting here just watching porn, I would get fired.
Yeah.
But like you guys could just read these books and talk about it openly.
That's literally the whole thing. So like when I'm reading my French guy's books about sex, he's like, you're like, yes, pull back that foreskin. Absolutely smoke that cigarette. Kiss him, taste him.
Fucking
like,
ash in my cigarette into his foreskin.
I read the World War I book at work, no problem. Covers like a naked man. And I literally was like, this is fine. I will not get fired for this. Watched episode 1 of Heated Rivalry alone in my bedroom, and I was like, I need to close the window. Like, this is fucking ridiculous. Sean and I watched the first 2 episodes again because I thought he said he didn't want to watch it because I thought he was like, I don't like that smut stuff. And so I just wasn't listening, and so I rewatched the first episode with him, and then we watched the second episode together, and I realized at the end of the second episode the window was open, and I was like, if anyone walked by, all they saw was just graphic gay sex on the screen. No like actual like penis, but like actually no, there was a penis, but like no like penetrative scenes.
That's
like,
what you get for fucking snooping. On the topic of snooping penis, did you hear about if this happened a few months ago? That DoorDash driver.
Yes, she got arrested.
Yeah,
it's the most idiotic people giving the most idiotic legal takes.
Yeah,
like,
a quick recap in case anybody hasn't heard. This DoorDash driver was making a delivery, walked up to somebody's house. The instructions said like leave at the door, but she noticed the door was like cracked a little bit. And so she ends up like pushing the door open. The guy is sleeping on his couch naked. She takes a video of him, posts it on TikTok, and is like, oh my God, I went to deliver this DoorDash order and this guy exposed himself to me. People in the comments lighten her up, being like,
you're an idiot.
Why are you in his house? Why are you recording him? What the fuck are you doing? She ends up getting fired by DoorDash or blocked or however the fuck
she got
they do
banned,
that.
and she was confused as to why. And it's like if you read the DoorDash thing, it's like even in a situation like that, you don't post the video.
Yeah,
like you and it's like I really hate because this is the whole thing is like this is like the perfect situation of like, you know how people like, and it's relevant, but you know how people like, you know, are like, oh, what about the people that lie about rape? And it's like, okay, well, yeah, they make victims look bad.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the whole thing, is like what this girl did like makes victims look bad.
Yeah.
But she also said she got sexually assaulted, and it's like, that's not.
Yeah.
That's not sexually, like it is,
at
but it's
worst,
not.
it's
like,
harassment.
Yeah.
But in the video she posted, she fully admits to like opening the guy's door and then walking inside.
Just trespassing.
Yeah.
Full on trespassing.
And she ends up, people lighten her up, and she ends up making a bunch of videos like, what are you talking about? I'm the victim here. I'm a victim. We're not going to believe victims, like all this shit. And then she got arrested and charged with like illegal surveillance.
Yeah. It's like I think she has 5 felonies.
Yeah.
And this, I had to teach Sean and Nick about this, because they were like, well, if his door was open, and I was like, no. If it was cracked, like there is because this is what people don't realize, is that just because you're in your house does not mean you have a expectation of privacy. Like, this is like settled case law. So essentially, if you're walking around your house naked, but your window is like wide open and you're standing in front of it, you don't have a reasonable expectation of privacy.
Yeah.
But in this case, the door was at least partially closed.
Yeah.
So if she had to take steps to physically get to see him, he had a reasonable expectation of privacy. Yeah. Like, that's cut and dry.
Yeah, the dude ended up coming out and being like, yeah, I was coming home from like the bars and I was just hella fucked up. I ordered some food and I just passed out on my couch. I wake up and there's this video of me naked on TikTok.
You know what? Do what you want in your house, but butt ass naked on your couch is a little insane. At least get to your room.
Put a fucking towel down if you're going to have the cheeks on that.
Exactly.
Couch.
You have guests over?
Guests, yeah, sitting in your poop. That's crazy.
Well, I don't have a transition, but if you're from California, you know that we've been living in, well, if you're from California and you're not on the coast or in San Diego, you know that we've been living in Russia for the past 2 weeks.
Because of how cold it is?
Well, and the fucking Russia filter in the sky.
The Russia filter in the sky? The fact
that the sun has not been out for 2 weeks.
Oh.
Did you hear about that? Like,
no.
The phenomenon? So apparently it's fog. That is not clouds. I mean, fog is clouds, but
I've seen the picture from space where it's like,
and it just follows it like perfectly into the valley. Yeah. So it apparently only happens like in perfect conditions. So it's like it has to be like above 70 degrees and then rain and then drop down below 70 degrees and like then it happens, and it can last for a couple months, it says.
Damn.
So this just might, like, our Russia filter might be a thing. And I've
never heard it called the Russia filter.
Oh, like the Mexico filter's the piss yellow.
Yeah.
Russia filter's just overcast sky.
I always thought that was more attributed to like London or like the UK in general.
No, London. Yes, but London has like a blue hue to it. I can't explain it, but there's like a blue hue to it. It's still colorized. Russia's like desaturated with the gray sky.
Gotcha.
But speaking of Russia, as you can see, Bodhi's in his KVG hat.
Do you know how many porn stars are from the like cold, like hardly inhabited areas of Russia?
I know that you don't dabble, but you need to watch gay porn, because there is a whole gay porn category called Czech Hunter that is about Russian men and Czech men, and basically it's this guy goes around and pays like straight guys to do gay shit.
I think you've told me about that before.
Czech Hunter's arguably one of the best. Like, where would we be? Where would we be without Czech Hunter? Anyway, as you can see, my iPad just delivered all of the Friendsgiving group chat text messages to me at once.
Ding, ding, ding,
this thing has not been on for like 3 weeks. As you can see, we have the Communist Manifesto, Crime and Punishment, and Bodhi's Russian hat. Do you put stuff in that pocket?
There's no pockets on this.
What is the little flap right here?
I don't know. It's just like another flap. Yeah. I don't know why there's an extra flap, because you can like bring it up like that if you want.
Have you ever seen Salt? With Angelina Jolie?
No.
Ah, she's a good movie. Good movie. Really good spy movie. But yeah, we have the Russia stuff because today we're
talking about Russiagate.
No, too soon. We're gonna dabble into the Tenet closet a little bit.
Oh, I love Tenet.
Do you remember the end of Tenet when they go to the secret city?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're talking about a secret city today called Mezhgorye.
Okay.
So I saw a TikTok on this because it was like top 5 places that humans can never go, and it's somewhere that's man built. Humans actively live there, but I understand like the whole concept. It's had like North Sentinel Island.
Mm-hmm.
So I looked into like someone basically was like they're super. I'm a big fan of like Soviet era secret stuff because it's just like that's perfect horror material. There's a whole untapped genre of movie, Soviet horror, to be made, and no one does it.
I mean, they made that Chernobyl TV series.
I wouldn't say that's Soviet horror. I mean, it was a thriller, but that's like real life shit. I'm talking like I want to see like medical experiments. Like I want to see monsters.
Okay.
I want to see like robot Stalin. Like, so yeah. So it's pronounced Mezhgorye. I'm gonna say it with a really American accent because I'm not gonna keep doing the whole Mezhgorye. So quick background, it's a closed or also known as a secret Soviet city in Russia. It's located at the base of the Ural Mountains, which those are, do you know what the Ural Mountains are or no?
Nope.
So they run north-south on the continental divide.
Okay.
So it's like Russia or Europe, Asia, because you know how Russia's both. Do you consider Russians to be Asian?
Yeah.
Right.
The majority of
the country is in Asia. And Sean and I got into an argument about this yesterday because I was like, yes, some Russians are European. Like if you're from Moscow, European. But if you're like from Siberia, you're Asian.
I mean, they all have like the white people look, but
they look Asian.
I guess if you want to attribute it geographical.
Putin looks like Benjamin Netanyahu had an Asian son.
Yeah.
Like he looks Asian.
Yeah. At the same time, though, you have to admit that Elon Musk is an African.
I mean, he's a South African. He's a South African.
Yeah.
That would be like, oh, he's an American, but he's from Alabama.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's actually, coincidentally enough, there's a scene in the final Mission Impossible movie where there's a brief conflict with Russia because it's a Tom Cruise movie. And one of the Russian soldiers is like fully Asian, not white, like tan skinned Asian.
Is he like KGB? Or
he's Russian.
Okay.
But it goes back to the KGB.
Okay.
So it's interesting. But yeah, so I basically was like, I count them as Asian the same way that I count Indians and like Pakistanis as Asian because they're like South Asian.
Yeah. Like
they're still on the Asian continent. Anyway, so the Ural Mountains run north-south on the continental divide. And they are almost directly north of Kazakhstan. If you need a little bit of a reference. I don't know how many people can point out Kazakhstan on a map.
Somewhere in the middle.
Do you know that Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, and Tajikistan all have enclaves of each other inside of them, and they're like always fighting about it? Why like those states are like not great.
Why don't they just come together and make one stand?
Unistan.
Yeah.
Unistan.
Unistan.
That is, Vladimir Putin's listening to this and just being like, I've been saying, man, we invaded Ukraine. The stands were next. Afghanistan, back into the Soviet.
Afghanistan,
we're doing Afghanistan
Pakistan,
too.
We're making one big Unistan.
Unistan. What is it? What would be the USSS? The United Soviet States of Stan. So it lies within the Republic of Bashkortostan. So I had to look. This is what.
There's another one.
So you remember how I told you yesterday how like I go to one source for most of our stuff and then like kind of branch out from there. This is where I had to start looking stuff up because this is the second time we've talked about republics within Russia. We talked about it in the Alien episode. The guy who was like yeah, I got abducted, and then they were just hazmat people, and everyone was like, that's just a scene from Back to the Future, man.
Yeah.
He was like the president of a republic in Russia, and so I was like, I need to know how these work. So I looked it up. So essentially, Russian republics are similar to U.S. states in that they operate with like pretty much complete autonomy, but they still like pay into the Russian Federation.
Mm-hmm.
So when the USSR collapsed and they lost like all of the Eastern European countries, they were like, we're just going to do that again within our country, within Russia.
Okay.
So there's like different
they
regions.
have presidents of regions, and then they also have the president of Russia.
Vladimir Putin is the president of Russia. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And so their presidents would basically be like governors here.
Yeah.
Very similarly. And so, yeah, so they operate with the highest degree of autonomy. Mezhgorye is about 200 kilometers from the capital of the Republic of Bashkortostan, which is called Ufa. It's situated.
I'm not falling for that one.
What?
Ufa?
Ufa?
Yeah.
Ufa. It's probably Ufa.
I'm not falling for it. You can't get me.
Oofa these balls. It's situated at the base of Mount Yamantau.
Not falling for that one either.
That literally and this is another thing. All of these regions have different languages.
They don't all speak Russian?
They speak all dialects of Russian, but they're different enough that they're different languages.
So it's like China.
Yeah, or
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's like China, or like going from like the West Coast to like Minnesota.
Yeah, where they call shit rice pudding.
Yeah, rice pudding, or like they're like, oh, do you want some pop? Or do you want to put the buggy away? And you're like, what the fuck is a buggy? And it's a shopping cart. Yeah, it's like that. So it's about 200 kilometers away from the capital of the Republic, Ufa. It's situated at the base of Mount Yamantau, which translates to Wicked Mountain. A omen for what this story's about. And it is also on the base of I think it's pronounced the Mali Inzer River. It was founded in 1970s ish, and you'll see why it's ish. And it was actually known as Ufa 105 and also Beloretsk 16, and then it wasn't given an official township status until 1995, so it was not on a map until 1995. And it's
we need to go back to like making new countries. I want to see a new country pop up in my lifetime.
But there's going to be a new country. There's a part of Indonesia, I believe, that is like holding a referendum soon. I'll look it up. There's a real life lore video about it. Trust me, I watched it. So yeah, it wasn't given township status until 95, and it's the only closed town in the Russian Republic right now.
Okay.
That is like an actual town. Recognized. I'm sure there's more that are still like there, but like this one is very weird, and you'll see like this. The reason that we're doing this particular closed city is because the Russians are so hell-bent on keeping it open.
Okay.
So it's very weird. Okay, so let's talk about Russian closed city. So the official definition is a settlement where travel and residency is heavily restricted. I think a lot of people associate closed cities with Russia.
Okay.
Because like that's
I just figured it was like Chernobyl or something bad happened and they had to evacuate it, and then they closed it off.
Chernobyl, I mean, I guess it wasn't technically if you want to go like way back in history, but Chernobyl at the time of the Chernobyl incident was part of Russia or was part of the Soviet Union. So yes, it is. But I think they associate it with like the USSR. Like you think of a closed city, you think of like Chernobyl, which is the USSR. You think of like the town from Tenet. But we actually have several closed cities here in the US. Like Los Alamos is a closed city.
So people live there, but they just can't leave.
So this is okay. We're gonna keep going. So basically, they do have people there, and usually the people that live in the towns are under a security clearance. So they are workers at the town for a reason, and then their families.
Oh, it's like that fucking CIA site we have in the middle of Australia. Yeah. They like built a city around it because it's in the middle of fucking nowhere, like for the workers to live.
Yeah, it's like there's work towns. Yeah, okay. Los Alamos, the hydrogen bomb, or not the hydrogen bomb, the atomic bomb. That's where they like in New Mexico.
Okay.
So in they don't cover. I mean, they show Los Alamos in the Oppenheimer movie, but one of the things they don't show that is in the book American Prometheus is there's about 12 or so, if I remember correctly, miles away from where Los Alamos is, where like Oppenheimer lived and worked. There was a town called Los Alamos, and it had like one inn. Like that's it. It was just like a single like hotel and saloon. And they had people operating that. And like if they back then had Google Maps and you said, okay, I want to go to Los Alamos, that's where it would take you. So usually these secret cities would have a decoy on it.
Gotcha.
So I'll show you a picture of it, but if you were to look up Mezhgorye on the map now, it would show you a city, but the site that we're talking about is like 5 miles away from it.
Okay.
So they usually have like decoys, right?
Makes sense.
Went to the wrong thing. Okay. So it's not uniquely Soviet. We have them here. There's another one in New York, I think. There's an island off of New York City where they have a bunch of dead people from the flu pandemic of 1917.
Just bodies.
Yeah, it's
they
like
didn't bury them. They just piled them up.
No, they buried them, but like it's like that strain of flu is like on that island. That's where they remember when Cuomo got like caught up in that controversy for like storing people in fucking trailers
during COVID. Yeah,
that's where they put COVID patients too. So there's a bunch of people that are died, like mass graves on this island. Cool. And it's close. It's like an actual like incorporated city. It's on the map. You can see it. It's like an actual township, but it's closed. You can't go to it because it's travel restricted. Let's see.
So do they have like fucking military people standing outside of this place?
Well, we'll talk about it. So these things were super common in the Soviet Union during the Cold War. And when the USSR collapsed in 1991, a lot of them remained cities, and the new Republic of Russia took them over and usually chose to either close them, like completely, like just get rid of them, or grant them township status. So if they got granted township status, what would happen is all of the operations that were going on there ceased, and they were like, okay, this is now just a free city to live in.
Okay.
But Mezhgorye kind of got both. Officially, there's nothing going on there.
Okay.
Officially. It is still a closed town. But there are 70,000 people who live there. So, you know. The design of these cities, like I said, were usually made with those facades. So what they would do is they would build a small outpost, and this would be what's on the map, but several kilometers away would be the bulk of the city, not classified on a publicly available map where the actual operations took place. The facades served as marker points. Some of the actual cities could be up to 80 kilometers, which is 50 miles away.
Damn.
So they really were like trying to like mislead people. Like they did not want the existence of these things known.
Yeah.
They were often named after the nearest prominent city and then assigned an additional postal code. So that's how you get those numbers. So like if we had one here, it would be like Sacramento 16.
Gotcha.
So that's why it was called UFA. What was it? UFA 105. Because it was close to the capital city of Ufa. Closest to the capital city of Ufa.
I always wondered why that fucking town antenna had numbers after it.
So it's just a postal code.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So it's literally just like a weird European way of like assigning numbers. Not just anyone can move to a closed city. Most of the time residents had explicit orders to move there and they needed clearance. Naturally, the security of the perimeter and personnel was stricter, and the USSR actually gave special advantages to people that were assigned to live here. So they were told to go live there. And in exchange, because they were usually sent out in the middle of fucking nowhere, this thing is like just so far out in the wilderness, there's nothing around there. They would give them like nicer houses and like more choice food than the slop that the
government run Burger King.
Yeah, God, they would get like better food. So the USSR had two types of closed cities. There's no official like names for these categories, so I just made names up
Okay.
based off of like what I read. So the first one I'll call operational closed cities. These cities had distinct functional purposes when they were established. They handled things such as like military or scientific purposes, like arms manufacturing or like nuclear research. Examples of this in the modern day is Ozerisk, I think is how it's pronounced, formerly known as Chelyabinsk 65, which was a plutonium production plant. And then the USSR also had light versions of these closed cities where they would restrict travels from foreigners, but nationals were allowed to like free roam. Sounds weird. Free roam. And then the second category, I'm going to call it strategic closed cities. So these were largely consisted of border cities along the USSR, and their purpose was to maintain the USSR's ever-expanding border. Think about like the fake cities on the DMZ in Korea. That's kind of like the other like version of a like no one lived there. They just built a city to be like, hi, we're here.
Gotcha.
Like we have land here. There's no documentation if anyone was dispatched to live in these border cities, but citizens could not just go to them. Like with the operational cities, they still needed permits and security clearances to actually go there and like do stuff. Most of the USSR closed cities, operational or strategic, were meticulously chosen and placed in the Ural Mountains or in Siberia, where bombers couldn't easily reach because they were all like strategically placed. Like they didn't want nuclear strikes happening there.
Yeah, makes sense.
Like the fallout from a nuclear strike. They also wanted to remain as discreet as possible while maintaining their efficiency. So they were often placed next to areas of abundant natural resources, such as the river. The city's actually at the base of a river, and lakes, so that the government did not have to keep resupplying it with stuff. They wanted them to be pretty self-sufficient as far as like what they could do. I wonder if there's any closed cities. Have you ever heard of Lake Baikal?
Mm-mm.
It's the world's largest lake by volume.
Okay.
It's like several thousand feet deep, but it's like pretty thin, but it has like its own ecosystem. Like there's like several like species of seals that live there that they don't live anywhere else on the planet.
How do they even get into a lake to begin with?
I think it has like a inlet from the ocean, but it in itself is like frozen like 99% of the time, and not like, oh, frozen, let me cut a little hole in it and go fishing. Like frozen like several feet of ice thick. Like
how the fuck do the seals breathe?
They themselves find cracks in the ice.
Interesting.
Yeah, you should look into Lake Baikal. It's a really like horrific shit show. Where was I? Oh yeah. So they wanted to remain abundant with natural resources. Following the collapse of the USSR, the new Russian Federation adopted a new constitution which specifically outlined plans moving forward for closed cities. They renamed them to Closed Administrative Territorial Formations.
Closed. What was it?
Closed Administrative Territorial Formations.
Katvs.
Katv.
Perfect.
Very Russian.
Rolls off the tongue.
So today there are 44 publicly acknowledged closed cities with a total estimation of about 1.5 million people. Russia has about 144 million people. So a little less than, or a little more than 1% of their population lives in closed cities, which is kind of crazy.
1%.
Always the 1%, which is actually really funny when we talk about Mezhgorye. Most of these territories are governed directly by the Russian Ministry of Defense, but a considerable amount of them are under control of Rosatom, which is Russia's state nuclear energy corporation. So
like some of it's governed by the
military,
and the other of it's by the Department of Energy, pretty much.
PG&E.
Yeah.
Imagine
PG&E owning a city.
Imagine.
This shit will burn down.
Intel suggests that about 15 additional closed cities might exist, but the Russian government has not, to this point, confirmed their existence. So there's anywhere between about 45 and 60-ish closed cities in Russia right now. Since the start of the 21st century, the number of closed cities has greatly been reduced, and security has been let up just a little bit, but most citizens and foreign investments are welcomed in those cities, and foreign citizens require permits. So
do you think there's a closed city out there that when they were like updating their list of closed cities, somebody just forgot to put it on the list, and then
They're just still toying away at like nuclear energy.
And at that, like, just nobody outside of that city knows it exists.
There could be, because they kept these people in the dark. They put them there and then pretty much just left them there and said, we'll be back for most of the time. And that actually happens at Mezhgorye. So let's get into Mezhgorye. So almost no public information is known about this. Most of it is just speculation or like what can be gathered from U.S. intelligence. To this day, there's no Russian provided information on what this town's purpose is, like a definitive answer. And it's still guarded and the security is still heavily restricted. What we do know is there's most likely some form of bunker on the site beneath Mount Yamantau. The story of Mezhgorye begins after the Cuban Missile Crisis, when Leonid Brezhnev, I'm not a huge Soviet history guy, came to power as the general secretary of the Communist Party. So this is like Stalin's vice president, essentially.
Yeah.
He's like super high up. Basically, Stalin tells him, hey man, we're in the Cold War. We need to win the Cold War.
Stalin's still alive during the Cuban Missile Crisis?
Yeah, Stalin was alive almost into the like late 80s, I thought. No, not late 80s, late 70s.
I thought he died earlier than that.
I don't know. Either way, this guy comes to power, and he was second to Stalin at some point. And this is like post-Cuban Missile Crisis, and Stalin basically tells him, or whoever tells him, we're in the Cold War. We are very much in the threat of this going nuclear. Like, if we go to war with the U.S., it's going to go nuclear. When did he die?
Nikita Khrushchev was the head of the Communist Party during the Cuban Missile Crisis. Stalin died in 1953.
Interesting. Maybe I didn't read that he was second. So maybe I read that he was second. What was Stalin's title?
His official title. Oh my god, Stalin died in a fucking crazy way. He had a stroke and started vomiting blood.
Ew.
Oh, this is just specifically about his death.
Well, okay. So either way, this guy comes to power as the general secretary of the Communist Party in the Soviet Union, right?
Prime Minister of the Soviet Union.
Prime Minister. Okay. Yeah. So the Prime Minister's office directs this guy, basically says, if we're in a Cold War, we need to be ready. We go to war with the US, it's going to go nuclear, mutually assured destruction. We need to be sure to win. This guy says, okay. And what he does is he basically was like, okay, Cuban Missile Crisis, bad. We were very close, but the threat is not gone, right? The threat continued until the collapse of the Soviet Union in the 90s. So following the missile crisis, basically what was happening was Vietnam, right? So in Vietnam, we were backing the South, right? U.S. policy was officially to contain the spread of communism. It wasn't to liberate the North. It was simply just prevent the North from invading the South. And so we were directly involved in Vietnam. We had boots on the ground in South Vietnam. And so we had backed the South, and then the USSR was backing the North, but the USSR was not directly on the ground in the North, officially.
I was about to say Call of Duty Black Ops says differently.
Officially. The Viet Cong was the main army that we were fighting, right?
Yeah. So
the USSR recognizes that, like, well, we probably do have some boots on the ground, right? And if things go bad, if a stray bullet hits, someone, it's all over, right? We're launching the nukes. So we need to be ready for that. And so there remained the possibility of the US and the USSR opening fire on one another, and they both understood that in that current nuclear environment that it was mutually assured destruction. So the Soviet strategy quickly shifted to being prepared for what was seen to be an inevitable nuclear war. So in the 1970s, they began construction in the region of Mount Yamantau. They deployed 2 military garrisons there around the perimeter of the mountain, and they began construction on what are now considered to be 3 closed cities. So there's 2 confirmed and then 1 speculative one. They were called Beloretsk 15 and 16. And then, like I said, U.S. intelligence got into it, and they found that there might be a third called Alkino 2. So there was 3 total like mini cities. And then what happened is that those cities all merged together to make UFA 105. Okay. So it's estimated the military units that were originally deployed there contained about 50,000 people. So they just said 50,000 soldiers. Go. And they quickly began construction. They started with railroads to connect that capital region to this remote region because, like I said, it is deep. Mm-hmm. It's deep out there. And they wanted to also unify those three cities together because they also were a considerable amount apart from each other. The level of secrecy involving Mezhgorye, which is what I'm going to just refer to it from here on out because I'm not going to keep saying Beloretsk 15, 16, UFA 105. So Mezhgorye, it was quite high. As with most closed cities, only deemed specialists were allowed to work there, and then their families were also allowed to come along and live there. But they didn't get to know anything about like what their like family member was doing for work. So everyone kind of was just like they had their own task, and no one knew what the larger task at hand was. Yeah. And it was basically you can leave your house for necessary purposes only, and the USSR went through great lengths to keep the city off the map. Towards the late 70s, US satellite imagery showed workers began working away from the city towards the base of Mount Yamantau and excavating under the mountain. So that's what I was saying. So let me show you on the map because I think
it sounds like this place is just like a nuclear enrichment facility.
There's several theories that is one of them. We'll get into them, but there's also like things when you look it up, you're like, maybe not, kind of thing. There's like
so that's how Pakistan has a lot of their nuclear like enrichment facilities. They'll build them like under mountains and shit, so that they can't be bombed.
Yeah. So that's Mezhgorye. Okay. Those are where the 3 cities were connected. This is the main site where they're working. This is about 2.5 miles away, and then that's Mount Yamantau.
Okay. So they're currently in the story digging under the mountain.
Yeah, like right here digging under the mountain. So the workers would get shipped from there. So this was like their HQ, and they would get shipped and then go over there. Let's see. So the mountain's composition was mainly made of granite and quartz. Again, satellite imagery suggested that they were excavating the rock, but the weird thing was they were shipping the rock out via those railroad networks that they build.
You gotta put it somewhere.
Again, it's just a big forest, so just anywhere.
Well, maybe they wanted to use it.
Well, that's the thing is like they went.
Granted, they're making countertops.
They went through great lengths to like.
That's what this place is for.
Make it seem like a legitimate mining situation, right? So, like I said, I suspect that it's an effort to keep up appearances. Fast forward to the 1980s, work is still going on in Mezhgorye, but the USSR runs into a small problem. That small problem being Afghanistan.
Not another Stan.
They famously invaded Afghanistan in the 80s. You'll know that they thought, if you know Soviet history, you'll know that they kind of they were still running the high from holding off Hitler's army back in the 40s. Mm-hmm. And they were like, this will be real quick.
Yeah.
We'll do this real quickly. And then that did not happen because we had bin Laden on our side. So basically they got caught up there for the majority of the 80s. Mm-hmm. The whole thing turned into the Gulf War, just kept snowballing. And so basically the war took up a huge chunk of their military budget. Mm-hmm. So if you know anything about military budgets, you know that the typical pattern is that when we have no money, R&D gets cut first. They stop. We actually saw that this year with the government shutdown, with the troops getting paid, they like took $8 billion from research and development grants in the military and said, oh, we'll just pay the troops with this. And then we'll just, like, when that money comes back in from Congress, we'll cycle that back into R&D. Like, we'll pay ourselves back.
How about we research like some swords and we just fight with those?
Research these nuts.
Yeah. I want to go back to sword fighting, dude. That would be fucking sick.
With this administration, we can probably convince them to do it.
I want to walk around with a sword on my hip.
You want to be a beta? Use a gun. You want to be an alpha? You want to be a wolf, a lion?
Yeah, get a fucking sword.
Sword, chain link armor.
No, fuck the armor.
Perhaps a jousting stick. What is it called? A lance?
A lance, yeah. Catch me walking around with my Hattori Hanzo katana.
Have you ever seen The Last Duel?
Mm-mm.
With Matt Damon and Ben Affleck? It's a movie, guy who directed Alien, Ridley Scott. And it's about these two people who are like knights and they have a last duel. And it's like an almost 3-hour movie that culminates in them having their last duel that ends exactly the way you think a jousting match would end.
What, they just both die?
They fucking impale each other. And it's like...
So it's 3 hours leading up to 3 seconds?
It's like a 5-minute sequence at the end, yeah.
That's so annoying.
Really
I'm never
annoying.
watching this movie.
Yeah, well, there's also like a graphic rape scene in it. It's very weird. I was like, we didn't need to show this. Like,
what
it's
does
part
that
of the
have
story.
to do with the duel?
It's because they're like, one of the guys rapes the other guy's wife, and then he's like, I gotta defend my honor. Last duel.
Oh, so it's just like modern, like UFC.
Yeah,
shit.
Pretty much. It's like Conor McGregor and anyone else.
Fuck yeah, I can't remember the guy that fucking choked him out right now.
But anyway, so
he was Russian. That's all I know. No, he wasn't Russian. He was from one of the Stans.
Even
that
better.
Used to be Russian.
Even better. So yeah, so like I said, typical funding things during budget constraints is R&D goes first, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, despite all of their other closed cities practically being halted, Mezhgorye pushed on as it was previously scheduled, and the USSR ended up sending more people to aid in the project's work, increasing it from a 50,000 person project to 75,000.
What if this just was a mining town?
So, okay, there's a real funny thing at the end of this that we'll talk, not the end, but like as in the explanations for all this that we'll talk about. So now we move forward to 1991. What happens?
Soviet Union collapsed.
Have you ever heard the story about how they collapsed?
No.
It just happened. Like,
yeah,
they literally,
I
like,
know
when they were like, it was like 11
kinda...
p.m. like on December, I think it was December 15th.
Uh-huh.
And then they were like, oh shit, we're collapsing. And then on December 16th, they woke up and they were like, hi, we collapsed. Good luck. And that was it.
Yeah, I don't understand like how an entire country like that just collapses.
I every time I hear like every 2 months in the news, French government collapses, I'm like, clearly it's not bad.
Like, what does that mean?
It's
like
clearly
they
not
just
that bad.
renamed themselves and they're like, okay, we recovered.
I think with the Soviet Union, it was more of like this country of many countries, this united front is collapsing. And then with French, it's just like Parliament can't agree on stuff.
Is it like when our government shuts down? Is that the U.S. government collapse?
Yes.
So they just ran out of money.
That's like a modern day collapse. But the USSR was like, we cannot maintain control of Ukraine, Poland, East Germany, all these other things.
So just like some country split off, and they were like, oh,
they just lost control of everything. They had no means to do anything. They had no budget, no money, no army willing to fight for them. There was a famine. I mean, Stalin killed how many people?
Stalin's been dead for so long at this point.
But that's the whole thing, is like all of this shit has been building up and it just collapsed. Like it's just like dominoes fell. I personally don't understand it. I don't. Yeah, but like it just,
in my head, when people talk about the USSR collapse, like I imagine that place was just like Mad Max territory for a little bit.
That's the whole thing. You would think.
But it's just like some country split off.
Yeah. So basically they were like, we have no means to control it. We're collapsing. Russia will remain Russia. And then that's when like a power vacuum got created. And then Putin stepped in. not Putin. There was one guy before Putin, but Putin was like a top aide to this guy because he was KGB. They stepped in. There's a new like election or whatever. This guy's the new president. And then they basically were like, well, we have no money. So what we're going to do, and this was the problem, is they weren't really communist, but they were state capitalists. So instead of being like state capitalists, what they did is they basically were like, well, anyone with money can buy us. And then those people became the oligarchs because they were like, well, now we have a stake in this country. And so they just let those people run the country. So the USSR just like overnight collapsing created the current problem. Yeah. And they kind of fucked themselves with that. And we'll actually talk about how they fucked themselves with that here. So collapse of the Soviet Union. It would seem likely that all activity at Mezhgorye would stop when they were like, hey man, we have no government. It kept going.
They really want those countertops.
They really want those countertops. No, the new Russian administration immediately made sure to continue work at this specific site, and they brought up the population yet again. So they just kept throwing more people into there. The army that they didn't have, they just made people up. Now, you might be asking, how do we know all this information, right? Because if there's no public information, how do we know all of it? In 1994, a Russian journalist by the name of N. Starkov, and I couldn't find his first name anywhere.
It's just gonna say it's Natasha.
Yeah. Nikita Starkov. It's a hard name. Could be a rapper name.
Nikita Starkov.
Yeah. So I couldn't find his first name, but it appears that he may have been killed following what I'm about to tell you, because there was a New York Times article that was locked behind a paywall, but I found a summary of it, of 4 Russian journalists killed in 1994, and an N. Starkov was listed on there. So he let his curiosity get the best of him, and he wanted to figure out what was going on here. He found out the existence of this city. I'm sure in the collapse, there was like a lot of like government documents that became public. He let the curiosity get the best of him, and he wanted to go to the city and figure out what's going on. Obviously, the Russian Federation was like, no, you can't. And he said, well, watch me. And he said, I'm going to hike through this mountains. So he literally just walked to the city. He walked through the Ural Mountains, and when he got there, he documented the following: a massive hole in the ground surrounded by a construction site, a helicopter landing pad, and inside the hole, a massive amount of iron workings, including water mains, rails, and rail cars, and wheels. He described the scale as, quote, enormous.
Okay, so it's just a big-ass mining facility.
Right. So around this time, the U.S. actually was refocusing because, again, there's a lot of political instability. So they were like, let's start spying on these people. So they refocused on the area using satellites, and they also were just as confused as Starkov as to what was even happening. Because obviously, like, his story came out, and then the U.S. was like, well, let's take a look. So they redirected their satellites and took a look. And so they were even U.S. intelligence was like baffled as to what was going on. They were like, what the fuck is happening here? Like, this doesn't make any sense. Yeah. So around this time, because the USSR had collapsed and the Cold War was officially over, Clinton, right? 1994, Clinton?
Should be.
Yeah. So Clinton and whoever the Russian president was at the time, I don't know who the first Russian president was, they had entered into an agreement to like cool down the remnants of the Cold War. So they basically were like, hey, let's do some nuclear disarmament. And so the US starts disarming their nuclear arsenal, right? They start, de-arming themselves. And Russia goes, hey, so we have no money to do this. So Congress says, well, in the interest of not going to nuclear war, we'll give you some money to do this. So they give Russia a bunch of money to start dismantling their nuclear operations. And they put a condition on the funds to only be used for defensive military purposes, devoid of any attempt to expand their military. And so when they looked at the map and saw what was going on at Mezhgorye, they were like, well, this suggests a pretty gigantic expansion. Considering, you know.
I'm trying to find out what the USSR's top export was around this time.
Was it not grain?
It was mostly oil.
Oil. Oh, that would make sense. I don't think there would be oil under a mountain, though, would there?
I don't know. That's why. That's also just not how you drill for oil. So that you
most of the oil
to,
fields are like in Siberia, and this isn't in Siberia. But yeah, so
I'm reading like CIA documentation that was declassified about Soviet exports from the 50s.
Interesting. So yes, so they look at this giant construction site and they say, well, this is not right. They're using money for shit that's not relevant, right? So now they have to begin figuring out what Russia's doing with all their money. And despite being in so much debt, why would they continue on with this specific project, right? Because clearly there's something going on there. Yeah. So that's where we get the theory. So the first thing the U.S. did was ask Russia about it, and Russia basically said, don't worry about it, kitten. That literally was the response that they gave them, was don't worry about it.
Yeah. The only thing other than like trying to build an underground nuclear facility I could think of is that they were just looking for like shit to export because they were running out of money.
Right.
And that's why they were digging into that mountain.
So when the U.S. gives money to other countries and puts stipulations on it, they usually will demand receipts, essentially, right? Mm-hmm. So that form of that receipts is the budget, right? So what's the budget? So they basically said, okay, don't worry about it, kitten, fine, give us your budget. Show us your budget. Mm-hmm. So they looked for what's going on, and all that they could find reference to Mezhgorye was just listed in the generic Ministry of Defense expenditures. So there was no like specific like thing. It was just like Ministry of Defense, generic expenditures, Mezhgorye, like subsection C. So following this botched explanation of the whole thing, because the U.S. was like, that's not an explanation, man. They attempted to do damage control, and they put forth a defense official who claimed to be the director of the Mezhgorye project. And he said the whole project was actually just a business venture for mining, and that he was the founder of a company and just an oligarch who was mining the site.
Okay.
So he was like, hey man, I'm just laundering money. Nothing to see here. He later changed his story and said it was actually a storage unit for military uniforms and MREs.
Just a big ass fucking cabinet underground.
Captain, we need more MREs. All right, we got to drive 19 hours into the mountains to go get it. Like, you know that fucking...
I mean, the USSR did export a lot of coal back then too,
but there wasn't coal in this mountain. It was granite and quartz.
I mean, they could have been digging towards the coal. I'm just saying that, oh yeah, we're just mining this for coal is a lot more believable than like, yeah, we're building a giant food container.
We found a deposit.
Yeah.
Like, what if the rock shop in Vacaville is just Mount Yamantau? It's another close city.
What the fuck did you call that? The like thing that's like close to a cold city? Or close city?
Outpost.
Yeah.
So he claims it was just a military uniform and MRE storage. And the US was like, what? So that sparked a theory that this was a business venture, was actually a front for a nuclear waste disposal site. And the news of the project's existence, when Starkov's report came out, it hit Russian mainstream media, and there was backlash immediately, because what happened was he reported it, right? He said, I don't know what's going on here. This is what I see. The U.S. says, okay, thank you for letting us know. Thank you for letting the world know. We'll take a look. They take a look. They go to the USSR. The USSR says, don't worry about it, kitten. No, actually, JK, it's a mining site. Oh, no, actually, JK, it's a military storage site, right? So the people in Russia get a hold of this, and they're like, what the fuck? Yeah. Right. And if you know anything about nuclear waste disposal in Russia, they're not typically good with it. They're just bad. So a lot of people were like, okay, we want answers. There's a lot of backlash from the local area, that region in Russia, the fucking precinct or whatever it's called. And people were trying to get answers because they're storing highly radioactive nuclear waste right next to a population center of almost 100,000 people is not the greatest thing to do.
Yeah.
You know, they did this in a town called Lake Karachai, I believe is how you pronounce it. It's literally just Karachai, which is so radioactive that a human can get a lethal dose of radiation in less than an hour. Now, I looked up this place. It has like 5 cities around the lake that just exist. So they just, were like, hey, everyone go live here. Don't go swimming, though.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, we did the same shit, too.
Oh, what's the Salton Sea?
Yeah.
Yeah, but either way, like they were in an uproar about this, so they started, kind of causing a commotion internally in Russia, right? So following the backlash, another Russian official comes forward. His name's MZ Shakarov. He is the minister of the local government, so the governor of that region.
Mm-hmm.
And he stepped forward and admitted that they were building a fallout shelter for Russian officials to escape in the event of a nuclear war.
Okay.
Right.
I could see that being the truth.
I could see that being the truth too. But there are some discrepancies as to if this guy even existed or not.
Oh.
So this guy comes forward. It's like, hi, my name is MZ Shakarov, right?
Mm-hmm.
And is like, we're building a nuclear thing. So I tried to look this up. And I also watched a YouTube video on it, and they tried to look it up, and they were like, so he is mentioned in a couple of reports, but his name is spelled wrong. So is it a typo? Maybe. Is it that he just didn't exist at all? Who knows?
Yeah, it could also just be like a fucking pseudonym the guy was operating under, so he didn't get fucking picked off like Nikita.
But nonetheless, his story does add up because it's that, remember I showed you, there's like the main city, and then there's like a railway, another site at the base of the mountain.
Yeah.
So it's separated far enough away from the city, right? And a giant mountain would be a perfect place for a fallout shelter.
Yeah.
Because it would be resistant to bunker busters. So, Putin also made allusions to some form of remote nuclear fallout shelter being in existence. In 2020, he did like an interview, and someone asked him about like the chances of them, I think, nuclear war now, and he basically said that Russia's nuclear arsenal would continue to be operational even if Moscow was taken out.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that there are nukes in Moscow because for whatever reason, all the other countries with nukes don't store their nukes in random places like the US does. They store them like just in the streets.
Yeah.
So Moscow's nuclear arsenal is like fully right there. And that makes sense because, again, they're right on Europe. They want it closer, but yeah. So he made that illusion. But allegedly, this complex uses 3,000 square feet of mountain space vertically as the ceiling. So it's deep enough in the mountain that there is 3,000 square feet of rock above this bunker. Like beneath, like they are 3,000 meters or 3,000 square feet below. And this becomes apparent because now there is more satellite imagery of comms equipment right outside where they suspect the entrance to the bunker to be, because it can't cut through that far of rock.
Yeah.
Right. But there are some contradictory facts that may lead us to believe there's something else going on here. The estimated size of the bunker is 400 square miles.
There's no way that's real.
That's what U.S. intelligence suggests.
U.S. intelligence is very often wrong.
It is very often wrong.
400 square mile bunker?
Right.
Are you fucking kidding?
Do you know how big that is?
It's fucking massive. That's like, what, the entire state of Texas?
No. 400 square miles. No. San Antonio. The city of San Antonio is 400 square miles.
400 square miles?
Mm-hmm. 400 square miles is about 90% of the LA city area.
400 square miles?
Yeah. That's the intelligence that they have, right? So, assuming that's true, let's just run with that, right? Why would a nuclear fallout shelter that would theoretically house Russia's top dogs need to be 400 square miles long or big, I guess? Like, it wouldn't, right?
Unless, well, I mean, let's say nuclear holocaust happens, right? Everyone shoots their nuke at everybody else. You're not going to be able to go up to the earth like once they stop falling.
Yeah.
You're going to have to live down there for a little while. you're probably going to want to continue like a couple generations, so they just have an entire underground city,
Yeah.
so they can like repopulate.
But does it need to be the size of LA?
I
Because
mean,
LA is huge.
if you are under the assumption that every human on the surface is dead, you're gonna have to be down there for like a couple hundred years.
Okay.
You're going to need to start like an entire new planet. They're gonna need to develop enough people to
that's
like,
the thing, is that the estimated total like capacity of this thing is upwards of 300,000.
yeah.
So
I could see that.
that's not even all of Russia's military. So because of this, it's widely accepted that this figure, this 400 square mile figure, is correct, right?
Okay.
That has led to a lot of other theories about what's going on here. So they concede that it is most likely, at least partially, a nuclear fallout shelter. The other theory is that it is Russia's version of Fort Knox.
So it's just a really secure military base.
Yeah, so because Russia was a monarchy for a while, they think that like that's where they store all of their like jewels and their artifacts and their gold and their whatever that like backs their rubles. Is that what Russians use?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So all of the like
all of their
jewels from the monarchies.
Yeah,
and
all
shit?
of their national treasure is stored under there. They just dug a hole and said X marks the spot. Shiver me timbers, right? And so then the final theory is that this place could be the Russian equivalent of Area 51, that it's a site used to produce and test banned chemical weapons and other miscellaneous military experiments. And this would actually be feasible given its proximity to the Dyatlov Pass. Do you know what the Dyatlov Pass is?
Yeah, we did an episode on that, no?
No, we talked about it. We talked about it once.
I probably listened to another podcast on the Dyatlov Pass.
I think we briefly talked about it.
Yeah, it was like what 4 or 5 hikers
just went fucking crazy ballistic.
They like were found super separated from each other. Like one of them was hanging from a tree. Yeah, another one was undressed. There was a lot of they found their tent buried under like several feet of snow. So like one of the theories was there was an avalanche that happened in the middle of the night, and then they like kind of ran to escape it and got separated. Inside of the tent, it was also discovered that there was some sort of an explosion.
Yeah.
So they were thinking they were cooking with like a little gas stove. The stove popped, and then everybody kind of ran out into the forest and then got lost. Another theory was that Russia was weapons testing over the area because they found like this big metal tube somewhere close to where these guys went missing.
There's pictures of it.
Yeah, and they either and that like missile or whatever Russia shot is what caused the avalanche, which caused these guys to die. They also found like radiation on one of the people's clothing.
Yeah, and there was in one of their journals, it said something about like the snowmen.
Yeah, and it was speculated that one of the people who went on the hike was like a CIA deep cover agent who was trying to get close to, I'm guessing, this facility.
And there's one guy who dropped out of the trip before that like whole main part of the incident happened. Like he went on the trip and then like halfway through got sick and was like, okay, I'm out, and then missed all that shit.
Yeah.
So I looked this is my own speculation, the Dyatlov Pass thing. So because I was like, wait a minute, I remember hearing the Ural Mountains before. Isn't that the first time I've ever heard the term Ural Mountains? So I think the Dyatlov Pass is in the Ural Mountains. So I looked it up. It's about 800 miles away from Mezhgorye, which is about a 19-hour drive. But again, the drive is subjective because you're driving through fucking a forest. So it's like, windy fucking unkept roads. You're not driving 65 miles an hour in a straight line.
Yeah.
But 800 miles in like the remote Russian wilderness is not a large scale.
Yeah.
Like it's not, that's across the country. It's just north of it. It's just like a short rail car ride north. Like,
Yeah, rail car, helicopter, like you could clear that pretty quick.
I mean, I think the drive from Sacramento to LA is 390, so about halfway. So it's just 2 of those drives, you know, so it's not like a whole big thing. It did say it would take about 19 hours to drive it, but again, like I said, unkept Russian roads. But yeah, so I think that would also make sense, given that if what's true about the Dyatlov Pass about the whole, you know, Russia was, you know, missile testing over here, that they are doing some kind of like military experiments. I think personally, I think it's a combination of all three. If the 400 square mile factor thing is true, because also I forgot to mention that Mount Yamantau is the biggest mountain in that mountain range. It's the tallest and biggest. So
yeah, I was originally thinking, okay, they just want some nice countertops, and then after that, I was thinking, okay, it's probably a nuclear enrichment facility. But after hearing how big this space is, I genuinely think it's like
a generation
an entire
ship.
city, yeah, to like restart Earth in the event of a nuclear war.
Yeah, I mean, and it's far enough away. So if you look at it, the Ural Mountains are actually to the west of it.
Mm-hmm.
So Moscow's over here, and then you have the Ural Mountains, and then it's like at the base of the Ural Mountains. So nuclear fallout wouldn't necessarily
would help, like, kind of protect the like communications equipment on the outside of it.
The rain shadow.
Yeah.
So I think it's probably just a catch-all facility.
Yeah.
If I had to guess,
you got like some military shit in there.
If I had to guess, so they said that the other cities were like, you know, plutonium enrichments and, you know, uranium things or whatever. I'm sure that those cities existed and had their functions, but I think this one was probably just so well situated at the base of the tallest mountain.
Yeah.
If there's already like an existing cave system or something of the matter of sort, you know, build a giant city under it and throw everything into it. I'm sure that they stored military uniforms and MREs there. Yeah. I'm sure that there's also probably nuclear weapons there, and I'm also sure that there's probably a bunker of some sort there.
Yeah,
like it's probably just everything. And that's why I was saying I want like a horror, you know, a horror movie about like Russian like military experiments in like the wilderness.
Yeah,
and it'd be amazing.
How would you? Okay, let's say the theory about it being like restart Earth is real. You're down there. How the fuck are you gonna grow food?
UV light.
Oh, okay. Yeah, never mind. Problem solved.
Yeah, I have one of those over there.
Oh, yeah.
Just UV. I think you can also, and I mean, I would also assume that do root vegetables need UV light?
I mean, they got leaves that come out.
That's true.
They got to photosynthesize somehow.
But they grow under the, I guess.
Yeah,
but when you plant them, they're just like if I wanted to plant a potato, I would dig a hole, put the potato in the ground, and cover it completely with dirt.
Yeah,
the leaves don't come until later.
Yeah,
the leaves show. That's when you know it's ready to pull.
Well, I mean, the second you see a leaf on a potato, it doesn't mean it's ready to pull. It like the roots spread out and everything, and then it gets what it can to make the leaf, and then it gets the rest of its energy from the leaf.
Yeah. Either way, just UV light.
Yeah.
I don't think
when did UV light invented?
Well, I think UV light's always been a thing.
No,
when has it been harnessed?
Yeah.
Let's take a look.
Because when did they invent the light?
When did photosynthesis come about?
Who invented plants? About because if the existence of like UV light predates them starting this like underground facility.
1801.
Okay, yeah.
Well, okay, so it was discovered in 1801.
Oh, okay. When were like UV lamps? Maybe that's the question we should be asking here.
So it says in 1801. This is Google AI, by the way, because I'm not gonna fucking do all this. 1801, John Wilhelm Ritter experiments with the sunlight after a prism. He observes blah, 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 leading him to conclude the invisible form of energy is present. So 1801 is when he discovers it. In the late 1800s, they discover the sterilizing effect of UV light on bacteria. And then 1903, Niels Ryberg Finson is awarded the Nobel Prize for using UV to treat diseases like lupus. So as early as 1903, they were using it for stuff, but you can focus it. Like you can focus UV light. 1910, the first full-scale UV water disinfecting system is implemented in Marseille, France. And then in 1930s, the first commercial UV lamps become available.
Okay, yeah. 1930s. That predates them starting this bunker.
Yeah.
It completely could be like an entire self-sustaining end of the world city down there.
A lot. And well, I also have to say that back then, a lot of people knew like where science was heading. And they were like, well, maybe we don't need this right now, but we'll figure it out by then. So like when you look at true crime stuff from like the 80s, right? So DNA wasn't a thing. Back in the 80s, but they knew that DNA was coming. It was like really weird. They were like, well, we know it's going to come, right? So they would collect DNA at like crime scenes and like keep it pristine and pristine condition. So they could have been like, oh, we know we're going to need to grow plants down here. Surely 30 years, something will come along and we won't be absolutely fucked.
Yeah.
I'm sure they had canned food down there too.
Yeah.
MREs
and military uniforms.
Yeah.
God damn. So, I wonder if Todd Howard, that's who's the head of Bethesda right now, right? I wonder how much of this Todd Howard knew about before he made the Fallout series.
Is he Russian?
Pretty sure he's not, with a name like Todd Howard.
It could be his mom's name.
That is the head of Bethesda, right? I'm not just making some dude up.
I don't
Todd Howard.
particularly follow Bethesda.
Yeah, executive producer of Bethesda Game Studios. Yeah, he's full American.
Interesting.
Born in Allentown, Pennsylvania.
Allentown. Oh, he's like American.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Western Pennsylvania.
Yeah. I wonder how much he knew about this before he made the Fallout series, because that's essentially what the Fallout series is. It's like nuclear war happens, everything gets fucking leveled, but there is this company, Vault Tech, that made underground
Bunkers
facilities for you to like live out until the Earth was safe to re-inhabit again. Where Fallout like differs from that is that all of these underground facilities were actually set up for different experiments, like whether it's like cloning somebody. There's one that was the entire chamber or the entire bunker was just cryogenic chambers. There's like other ones that had to do with like, I think there was like a Stanford prison experiment vault as well. Like it's just a bunch of different fucked up like experiments that the company ran on the people that they had hostage, essentially.
I mean, I don't put it past the Russians to be doing shit like that.
I mean, this one, it sounds like way big. It sounds like they're actually trying to.
They probably got different districts of the city.
Yeah.
This is the MRE district. This is the military uniform district. This is the Russian sleep experiment district. Like.
This is where we took those people from Dyatlov Pass.
This is where the oligarchs will park their yachts because they're going to bring them.
That's why it's so big. It's just no houses.
That's what the wheels are for. You attach them to your yachts.
Yeah, big ass lake for yachts, and that's it.
Oh, there is actually rumors, and it's unconfirmed, that I read this, that the river has an underground aqueduct running into it. And if that's the case,
perfect for the yachts.
Yeah, sail your yacht right down the river.
Although if this is like we're hiding from the nuclear fallout,
not great.
You want the nuclear water flowing into your base.
At least your.
Can you filter out nuclear radiation from water?
I don't think so.
Or run that bitch through a Brita?
I don't know. You know what really pisses me off is the whole Chernobyl thing went down because they couldn't boil water properly.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it was like a bunch of mismanagement too. But
just
yeah.
general bad things. Just, the USSR.
All pride and ego.
Yeah. But yeah, what are your thoughts on Mezhgorye? You can't visit it today, but would you try and sneak in?
Oh, dude, I know this YouTube channel. We should hit them up, see if they'll sneak into it.
Jake Paul?
No,
Logan Paul?
it's called Boy. It's just two like Australian dudes. They go and they do like crazy shit. Like they went to North Korea to get a haircut.
The hell?
And then
you can go to North Korea.
Yeah.
It's not recommended.
Yeah. But they also that like CIA facility that I was talking about earlier, it's in the middle of Australia. It's in the middle of the outback. They like snuck onto that and they made a YouTube video about it. They like got pretty close to it and then like people were like, you gotta go. And then CIA people like followed them back all the way to their hometown to make sure that they like stayed there.
Jesus.
Yeah, but they've done a bunch of like crazy like investigative journalism stuff before, so I wonder if they would be interested in figuring out what this Russian thing is.
That's where I want to take this podcast.
To Russia?
Just investigative journalism like that when we get the chance.
That would be cool.
Quit my job, go invade fucking Fort Knox.
It would be like months between episodes.
Yeah. Unless we do it really fast.
All right, Tuesday we're going to Fort Knox. Wednesday we're going
to
Louvre.
The
Louvre.
catacombs.
Yeah.
All right.
Thursday we record.
Let's read out some socials.
Yippee.
Where are we? Here we are.
My balls are full of piss.
YouTube, Learning Curve Pod. It's going to pop up right here. YouTube, Learning Curve Pod, every Thursday, 2:15 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Instagram, learningcurve.podcast. Twitter, @learningcurvepod. Bluesky, learningcurvepod.bsky.social. TikTok, we are at Learning Curve Podcast. I can only imagine the comments we're going to get this week. Bodhi's Twitch is Shrink3Dink. My Twitch is ChefCram_. And Bodhi's Substack is Shrinky.
Yeah, we're back. Make sure to follow, like, comment, subscribe, stay up to date.
Turn on post
notifications, all that good shit.
Download the episode.
Don't download. Well, download the episode, but play the online version so we get the downloads and the individual plays.
Do everything. Send us money. Take $5, fold it in half, put it in an envelope, address it to my address, and mail it to me.
Why don't you take a pretty little Polaroid of yourself and send it in the mail?
I was going to do that on Sean's film camera, and then I was like, oh, he got to get this developed. I don't want them seeing my pee-pee.
What else? Oh, yeah, we're back.
We're back. Oh, wait.
Probably going to take another break around Christmas, New Year's time.
Yeah.
Because I will not be around. We might pre-batch some episodes, though.
That's fine. We can do that.
Yeah.
But we'll be back for an episode next week, which will be the 10th. It's coming out on the 3rd. Back for the 17th, and then the 24th and 31st are the next ones. So.
Oh, cool. 2 holidays.
Yeah. Do we want to take 2 weeks off?
I mean, I'm gonna be gone that week of the 24th.
The whole week of the 24th. When do you get back?
I don't know. I forgot.
Okay. We'll figure it out. Either way, whatever the last episode of December is, which may be the 17th, is going to be Mission Impossible 3.
Yes.
Don't know what we're doing next week.
I don't know yet either.
But to Bodhi, he's going to find something to hyperfixate on.
Yeah. All right. Until then.
Bye.
Bye-bye.